All right, so page 183. I counted 2 points for every time it asked for more than one thing. So x is worth 1 and y is worth 1. Did you find the value of the variables for these first 3 problems? Did you explain your reasoning by writing down what you did? Like you did supplementary or consecutive interiors? Okay, that's perfect. If you didn't, let's do like we did on the last one. Don't mark off if you got them right. All right, so number 8, 1 point for x equals 125 and 1 point for y is also equal to 125. Those are alternate interiors. They have to be the same measure. Number 9, x is equal to 114. These are alternate exteriors, so you have to make them equal to each other. Number 10, x is equal to 70. This was a tough one to see. I wasn't happy with that diagram. It's supposed to be those guys right there, so set them equal to each other, but this 2x minus 15 seemed to be floating in the middle of nowhere. So if you messed up on that one, it's a 1-pointer only. Any concerns on these first 3? Okay. Then we had this crazy diagram. You have to be really careful in here. There's one set of parallel lines, but there's 2 possible transversals. So I'm going to run through really quickly. Number 11 is 62. Did you tell me which postulate you used? Excellent. Did anybody not? Melody? Christopher? All right. Like you said, oh, they're corresponding or they're... Oh, yeah. I did that. You did corresponding and alternated? No? Okay. If you got the number right, then mark it right. Okay? Because you had to figure something out, right? Okay. Yeah. It's a fancy word for telling me what kind of angles they are. It's really all that is. 11 is 62. They're correspondings. 12 is also 62. We had a lot of different things that could have happened. Verticals, alternate exteriors, a lot of possible answers. 13 is 118 degrees. 14 is 62 degrees. 15 is 38. 16 is 80 degrees. 17 is 142. 18 is 80 degrees. And 19 is 38 degrees. Are there any that you didn't get that we should run through or talk about or put some numbers on the thing? Anything? Nothing? You got those ones? Did anybody get thrown off with these extra angles all over the place? Did you? The bottom part seemed easy, right? Because we had supplementary angles and vertical angles and all that kind of stuff. This little triangle right here with the 4, 5, 6, that's where it got a little tricky because those 3 angles together add up to 180 degrees. So you had to be really careful when you put your numbers in there because you can't just say, oh, 4 plus something else equals 180 because we have to split that into parts and we don't know if they're equal or not. So that one was a little tricky. Is there anything that we should figure out that you're not sure? You just want me to flip the page and be done with this? Oh my gosh, you guys. Then came the really fun problems, right? Maybe after today's warm-up that helped you a little bit. I'll put the answers and then I'm going to ask you what you have questions about. Just like the first page, 1 point for everything you had to find. So number 24, y equals 14, that's its own point, and x equals 54. Number 25, x is 40 and y is 50. Number 26, only x, which is 63. Number 27, x is 42 and y is 14. Number 28, x is 54 and y is 12. And number 29, x is 6 and y is 10. Is there any that we should run through? We don't even have to solve if you just want to see how it got set up. I think wasn't 29 was kind of a weird diagram like our warm-ups today. Should we talk about 29? Or did the warm-up help? For number 20, I'm going to talk about 29. You're welcome. Number 29, everybody saw the parallel lines, right? What's your big clue that you got parallel lines? What are you looking for? The little extra arrows. Look for those little arrows. So if I were finding, say, x, I would just look at this part of the diagram. I would try to. I would block out all the rest of it and say, oh, those are consecutive interior angles. They have to add up to 180, so x has to be 60 degrees. I know it's easier when I can block things out. Then, if I'm going to do this part of the diagram, I've got 2 parallel lines. This becomes my transversal. It looks like these two guys are supplementary angles, right? I'm going to put my number in for x and get an number there, and then I'm going to say this plus this equals 180 because those are supplementary angles. So we can still use verticals, we can still use linear pairs, and we can still use vertical angles. Those ones didn't go away from chapter 1. Is there any others that we should either talk through or set up or solve? I thought 26 was a little tricky. Did anybody find 26 a little tricky? These guys aren't any kind of angles, right? They're not corresponding. One's interior, one's exterior, but they're on opposite sides of the transversal. So you got a couple options. I did a vertical angle with this 54. I said, well, if this guy's 54, this guy has to be 54. And then now I see those are consecutive interiors, so they're going to add up to 180 degrees. I would turn my paper completely for number 27 because my parallel lines are going up and down. And then I do one transversal at a time. I'd block out the top two to figure that out, consecutive interiors. I'd block out the bottom two consecutive interiors. Is there anything in particular that we should set up or run through, or you just need some more time to process? More practice, more processing. Okay. All right, so what did we say? There were 24 on that one? So figure out how many you have correct out of 24.